In a monumental moment for the MMA community, Dana White has officially confirmed one of the most highly anticipated matchups in the UFC. Jack Della Maddalena, JDM, will face the lightweight champion, Islam Makhachev, in a future showdown. This match has been the subject of intense speculation for months, but now it's confirmed. With Makhachev eyeing the welterweight division, and JDM having proven himself as one of the division's top contenders after his win at UFC 315, this fight promises to be a thrilling clash of styles and skills. But before we dive into the excitement of that potential matchup, let's take a look at the retirement of one of the sport's greatest legends, Jose Aldo. Following his unanimous decision loss to Ian Zahabi, Aldo announced his official retirement from mixed martial arts. Aldo's departure marks the end of an era in the sport, as the Brazilian icon has left an indelible mark on both the WEC and UFC. Known for his devastating leg kicks, unrivaled speed, and legendary career, Aldo's decision to retire sent shockwaves through the MMA world. In his emotional farewell, Aldo expressed, "I just don't have it in my heart anymore. I think this is the last time you're going to see me. I can't do this anymore." His words hit hard, as fans, fellow fighters, and analysts alike took a moment to reflect on the incredible legacy he leaves behind. Aldo's career spanned over a decade, marked by historic fights and multiple championships, making him one of the most respected and revered figures in the sport. Max Holloway, one of Aldo's fiercest rivals, was quick to pay tribute to the retiring legend. Holloway, who had faced Aldo twice in the octagon, said, "Jose Aldo is a legend, loved to one of the greatest." This sentiment was echoed throughout the MMA community, as many fighters recognize Aldo as a standard-bearer for the sport, and Holloway's tribute showed the deep respect Aldo commands from his peers. It was a sign of the enduring impact Aldo had not only on the featherweight division, but on the entire MMA landscape. Ian Zahabi, who shared the cage with Aldo in what would be the final fight of his career, addressed the controversy surrounding the decision. Some fans felt Aldo had been robbed, but Zahabi firmly disagreed, stating, "He's congratulating me, so I think they knew I won the fight." Despite the emotional nature of Aldo's retirement, Zahabi made it clear that he felt confident in his victory, pointing out that, by the end of the fight, he was closer to finishing Aldo than vice versa. Zahabi also recognized the significance of his victory over Aldo, seeing it as a stepping stone to propel himself toward title contention in the division. Meanwhile, UFC welterweight Ian Garry made waves following Jack Della Maddalena's stunning victory over Belal Muhammad at UFC 315. Despite predicting that Belal would dominate the fight, Garry publicly admitted his mistake, posting a video on Instagram where he said, "I was wrong, but it's not my fault." In typical Ian Garry fashion, he injected humor into the situation, owning up to his misjudgment but never backing down from his confidence. He acknowledged Della Maddalena as the new welterweight champion and commented on Muhammad's game plan, or lack thereof. Garry had expected Belal to implement his wrestling-heavy style, but instead, Belal stood and traded strikes with JDM, a decision that ultimately cost him the fight. Garry, never one to shy away from making bold predictions, began fantasizing about future matchups in the division. He expressed interest in a potential fight between Carlos Condit and Jeff Neal, two heavy hitters with contrasting styles, suggesting it would be an exciting clash of powerful strikers. Garry also couldn't resist poking fun at Leon Edwards, the current welterweight champion, for his apparent reluctance to face wrestlers. He proposed a hypothetical matchup between Edwards and Michael Venom Page, calling it a battle of unique striking styles. However, Garry's most intriguing comments centered around Islam Makhachev's potential move to welterweight. Garry made it clear that if Makhachev does decide to make the jump to 170 pounds, all the current welterweight contenders, including himself, would have to show respect to the lightweight champion. Garry, known for his self-confidence, also made a bold statement, saying, "If negotiations don't go so well, then you've got a tall, blonde Irishman who's ready to take over the UFC and get that belt." In a more uplifting moment, UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski shared his excitement following Jack Della Maddalena's victory. Volkanovski, who himself is from Australia, was visibly elated to see his fellow countryman capture the welterweight title. In a heartfelt video posted to his Instagram, Volkanovski's infectious energy and pride were on full display. He praised JDM's performance, pointing out that despite being on the bottom at various points in the fight, it was the Australian's damage and effective strikes that truly earned him the victory. Volkanovski's support demonstrated just how much pride Australia takes in its fighters, as the country now boasts 2 UFC champions. Volkanovski also reflected on how pivotal this moment was for Australian MMA, highlighting the significance of having 2 champions in the UFC at the same time. With JDM's victory, Australia now stands as one of the dominant forces in mixed martial arts, and Volkanovski's pride was a testament to the growth of the sport down under. Meanwhile, Belal Muhammad, who had just suffered a heartbreaking loss to JDM, broke his silence following the fight. The former contender for the welterweight title showed resilience and faith, posting on social media, "Allah's plan is the best plan. Alhamdulillah for everything. Thank you to all my supporters. I've been here before, and I'll be back." Despite the setback, Muhammad remains determined to regroup and come back stronger. Lastly, with all the exciting developments and upcoming matchups, one of the most highly anticipated events in MMA has been confirmed: Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev. This dream matchup is set to bring 2 of the best fighters in the world together for what promises to be an electrifying battle, further solidifying the welterweight division's depth and talent pool. As we look ahead to the future of MMA, it's clear that the sport is in a constant state of evolution, with new champions, fresh rivalries, and exciting prospects on the horizon. Fans are eager